Ladies and gentlemen, what we are about to witness in regards to Tank Davis and Jake Paul, I think is about to be an absolute tragedy for the sport of boxing. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. And I wasn't actually sure if this fight was going to happen, but Jake Paul did confirm that this fight is going to happen, but it's going to be moved. It was going to be in Georgia, and then now it looks like it's going to be in Miami, Florida. I'll explain that to you after on why it's being changed to a different state. But overall, I just think this is absolutely crazy to see a guy like Tank Davis go up against a YouTuber in Jake Paul. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Jake Paul can't fight by any means. He is a decent fighter. But to be in a ring with a guy like Gervonta Davis, who is in his prime, to me is absolutely crazy. And it's crazy. To me, it's embarrassing for the sport of boxing, but I can understand it from a monetary perspective, obviously. Big money grab for Gervonta Davis. And to be honest, it is for Jake Paul as well. But what does Jake Paul have to lose? Jake Paul has absolutely nothing to lose. And the reason, again, it's embarrassing, like I mentioned, it, look at the fight that we just witnessed on Netflix with Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. It was a great fight. I thought Netflix did a wonderful job with its production with this fight, and I'm looking more. I'm looking forward even more to seeing fights on Netflix. It was a great stream. There was no buffering and all that kind of nonsense like when we saw Jake Paul go up against Mike Tyson. It was smooth as butter. They had a great cast. It's great to see Max Kellerman back in the building. And I am looking forward to seeing more fights on Netflix. But damn it, this ain't the one because this is a fight that is going to be on Netflix, but this ain't it to me, ladies and gentlemen. And I mentioned, is this something that people are going to watch? Probably. Probably because at this point, I really just do think that they're saying, listen, just put anything out there. Who cares? They'll watch it. They'll watch it. Just put anything out there. It doesn't matter what we put. Who cares if we make a travesty out of the sport? They're going to watch it anyway. And ladies and gentlemen, I learned my lesson when I tried watching that damn Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. And I understand Gervonta Davis is not a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. Okay. Clearly, the man can box. Davis, WBA lightweight champion, typically fights around 135 pounds, 140, I don't know, around that weight, is clearly very different than Jake Paul, who competes at over 200 pounds. That's a 70-pound weight difference. A 70-pound weight difference, ladies and gentlemen. What are we talking about here? This is weird. This is weird. It's skill versus spectacle now at this point. And don't get me wrong, I'm not some boxing savant. I watch all the big fights. I love the sport. I'm a fan of boxing. But this is just ridiculous here. This is just flat out ridiculous. Gervonta Davis, highly skilled, undefeated, 30-0-1. And the last time that we saw Gervonta Davis, he was going up against Lamont Roach, which was an incredible fight. An incredible fight. Drop a. And you know what, damn it? For Tank Davis as well. Because that was an incredible fight. And it came down to a draw, even though I thought Lamont Roach should have won that fight. But anyway, even if it came down to a draw, understandable, very good fight. But damn it, we should be, or Netflix or whoever it has to be, should be focusing on getting Tank Davis back in the ring against Lamont Roach for part 2. And at this point, I don't know what it's going to take. So if you're listening to this and you know boxing, please put it in the comments. Please put it in the comments as to why we are not seeing that fight, because that's the fight that we want to see. I can easily Google it and check, but I don't want to do that. But anyway, that's the fight I want to see. That's probably the fight you want to see as well. And so don't get me wrong, if you want to watch this spectacle, I mean, go ahead. I mean, Jake Paul, yes, we know he's a decent fighter at 12-1. Okay. Now he is a novice compared to Tank Davis, but his career has been built on being a spectacle in regards to boxing. He's fought, retired MMA fighters, less accomplished boxers, aging legend Mike Tyson. And I mean, this is just a joke, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it really is. Could it be a decent fight? Maybe, but 70 pounds is a lot of weight. 70 pounds is a lot of weight, man. And I mean, a win over Paul adds little to his resume. I mean, what is it going to do? We know he's going to go get that money. I'm not mad at that whatsoever. It's just strange that this is what boxing has come to. Which is really weird considering how many great fighters there are in many different weight classes. This is just really strange stuff. And at some point, we're going to have to ask ourselves when it comes to um, promotions and these guys in management and taking something has to be done that gets the fights that we actually want to see. Seriously, like the UFC does a great job of making fights that you want to see all the time. And we got to be able to do the same thing in boxing. It takes way too long to see the fights that you want to see. And it's just this is what we're coming to at this point. Now I can understand like if Jake Paul was going up against, a good boxer, but somebody's not who's in their prime and like still active and getting it in. But Tank Davis, you actually want to see him go up against real boxers. This is weird. This is weird. And it's an exhibition fight, obviously, but I mean, it's not going to count towards anything, which I get, but are you going to have to modify the rules here? Like, are you going to have to wear different gloves? Are you just going to fight 8 rounds, 10 rounds? Because every time they do these damn fighting exhibitions, it they change things. And it's not about the sport of boxing anymore. It's literally about just kind of a circus show where guys get a lot of money and can it be fun to watch it? I don't know anymore at this point. I don't know anymore at this point. And for Jake Paul, he wants to be known as being a legit fighter. Is this the way that you go about it? Is this the way that you become a legit boxer? I mean, it's about selling, it's about making money. It's about selling, making money, and seeing if you can skip your way in there to knock somebody like Tank Davis out. Listen, I'm not mad at Jake Paul for getting this done. How can you be? How can you be? How can you be mad at a guy who's 12-1, hasn't fought anyone legit, and then can find himself in the ring with one of the world's best boxers, and you're getting paid crazy money for it at the same time? How can you be mad at him for that if they're putting it together? It's going to draw numbers, I'm assuming. But I mean, YouTuber turned boxer. There is risk here for Gervonta Davis as well. At almost 70, or who knows, it could even be more than that, but around 70 pounds heavier. If he hurts you with something, that's a lot of weight. There's a reason that we have weight classes in boxing. Now, like I mentioned to you before, and I said I was going to get back to this, there is regulatory pushback here. So the fight face opposition from the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission, with Chairman Rick Thompson calling it the dumbest bleep I've ever heard due to weight discrepancy and its perceived lack of competitive merit. This led to the bout being moved to Miami, highlighting the controversy around its legitimacy. And so there are a lot of people who have questions about this entire thing with Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. I doubt I will be watching. If I'm home and I'm not doing anything, I probably still won't watch this one. This one, I don't know. I don't know. Like on one hand, it's just like you just want to watch because how much of a spectacle it's going to be and how ridiculous it is. But at the same time, I'm just not sure I can waste my time and do this. Maybe I'll just catch the highlights on X or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because things might change depending on how this fight turns out, right? Like if something goes south, something goes left, and there's an injury or something with Gervonta Davis, people are going to have to be very careful. You're going to have to pay attention to what happens in this fight. And so I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to watch this one, but you guys in the comments, let me know if you think this is a good idea. Like I mentioned, I understand this is all about the money here. I get it. It is about the money, but it is to Gervonta Davis, to Jake Paul. Yes, he is getting money, but it's probably about something different. He really wants to beat Tank Davis. And Tank Davis, I understand he probably going into this with no fear, even though yes, the weight differential, it's absolutely ridiculous. But one guy really wants to win, one guy really wants the money, and it's just it's just going to be completely different, than anything that we just saw this past weekend with Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, right? Because that's real boxing. Two guys who put their blood, sweat, and tears into this sport. Two of the best that we have ever witnessed go into a boxing ring. And it's going to be followed up with something like this. But I don't know. If you're going to watch the fight, explain to me why or why not. And I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong here. I'm just interested in people's opinions. Like I said, I'm not mad at the whole thing. Go out there, get your money. It's going to be a spectacle. But let me know why or why not you are going to watch this fight. And if you are interested, peace. It's Mike Roach. I'm out.